Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, wondering when things started to change? Not in your strength, not in your mind, but in the quiet, intimate moments that once came so naturally. For many men past the age of 60, this question begins to surface more often than we'd care to admit. The desire is still there, the connection with your partner remains, but your body doesn't respond the way it used to. Erections feel weaker, energy fades faster, and slowly, that quiet confidence you once carried starts to waver. But what if I told you that the issue isn't just about getting older? What if, instead, your body is simply running low on something it deeply needs, something it used to produce effortlessly when you were younger? You see, as time goes on, certain key vitamins that support testosterone, blood flow, and nerve function begin to decline, and without them, the system that supports male vitality struggles to keep up. In today's video, we're going to uncover a truth that many men never hear from their doctors. I'll walk you through 3 powerful nutrients, simple, natural vitamins that play a critical role in helping men reclaim their strength, sensitivity, and sexual confidence. No medications, no miracle pills, just a return to what your body was always meant to have. So if you're here, I invite you to stay with me, not just to listen, but to begin a journey back to feeling whole again. And if this message resonates with you, if you've felt these quiet changes and want to do something about it, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. You deserve answers. You deserve solutions. Now, let's begin with the first vitamin, a foundation your body has likely been missing for far too long. 1. The role of vitamin D in regulating testosterone. When Frank turned 63, he noticed something quietly shifting in his life. It wasn't sudden or dramatic, just a steady fade. His energy wasn't the same. Mornings felt heavier. His usual spark for intimacy dimmed, and even his motivation to get things done started slipping. He chalked it up to aging, like most men do. But it wasn't just age, it was something more subtle, something that most men overlook until it's already affecting their lives, a slow, silent drop in testosterone, worsened by a deficiency in a vitamin. He never thought twice about vitamin D. Now, when we talk about vitamin D, most people think about bones or maybe immune health, but here's the truth. Most doctors don't say out loud until asked vitamin D is more than a vitamin. It behaves like a hormone, a powerful, quiet operator behind the scenes that controls far more than you'd expect. For older men, one of its most critical roles is in the production of testosterone, the cornerstone hormone of male sexual health, energy, and confidence. Testosterone influences libido, erection strength, sperm quality, and even mood. And here's the kicker: as men age, testosterone naturally declines. But when vitamin D levels are low, that decline speeds up and the effects can become impossible to ignore. Back in 2011, a clinical study published in Hormone and Metabolic Research revealed a powerful insight. Men who took 332 IU of vitamin D daily for 1 full year experienced a significant increase in testosterone compared to those who didn't supplement at all. That's not a minor bump. That's a real, noticeable shift in vitality, one that many older men feel in their relationships, in their ability to get through the day without crashing, and even in their sense of purpose. And this matters, because while testosterone levels gradually fall after 40, after 60, the slope gets steeper. Men experience lower desire, fatigue, weaker erections, and often a quiet sense of frustration or loss of identity. But here's the hopeful part: this doesn't have to be permanent. Frank didn't go looking for medication. What he did instead was simple. He began getting 10-15 minutes of sunlight each morning, walking outside without a hat, letting the sunlight hit his arms and face. It became his little ritual. And over time, not only did his mood begin to lift, but so did his energy. Because sunlight triggers your skin to produce vitamin D naturally through UVB rays. And that's where the magic begins. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just step into the light. Add more foods rich in vitamin D like salmon, mackerel, egg yolks, liver, and even mushrooms that have been exposed to sunlight. Fortified dairy can help. 2. For men who live in colder climates or who have limited sun exposure, some doctors may recommend a light dose supplement of 1 $1 to 2 $7 IU per day. But if you can, always choose nature first. Let your body make what it was designed to make. There's one important thing to remember: raising your vitamin D levels isn't about chasing numbers on a lab sheet. It's about restoring balance. It's about getting back that internal rhythm where your body feels like your own again, where you wake up with drive, confidence, and that familiar quiet strength that may have felt out of reach. For Frank, and for thousands of other men like him, vitamin D became more than a supplement. It was the spark that helped reignite his inner fire. Of course, testosterone is just one part of a man's sexual health. Erections are not only driven by hormones, they're the result of a strong nervous system and healthy, unrestricted blood flow. That's why vitamin D is only the beginning. To fully restore the experience of vitality, connection, and confidence in the bedroom, you need to support your whole system. Still, it all starts here, with the sunlight on your skin, with food on your plate that nourishes you from the inside out, with a decision, however small, to give your body what it's quietly been asking for. Many men in their 60s and 70s think that this part of their life is behind them, that passion, desire, and intimacy belong to youth. But the truth is, those things don't disappear. They simply retreat when the body lacks what it needs. And when you give it back, when you lift your vitamin D levels naturally, you begin to feel again energy, interest, life. So tomorrow morning, before the day begins, step outside. Feel the morning sun on your skin. Take a deep breath. This is your body waking up. This is your life stretching forward, not just behind you, but ahead of you, still full of possibility. And now that you've begun to rebuild the hormonal foundation, let's explore the second vitamin, one that sharpens your nerves and supports the blood flow essential for a strong and steady erection. Because the journey to restored vitality doesn't stop here, it's just getting started. 2. Vitamin B12 and its impact on the sexual nervous system in older men. If testosterone is the firewood, then your nervous system is the spark. And without that spark, no matter how much fuel you have, the flame won't light. This is where vitamin B12 becomes absolutely essential, especially for men over 60. It's not just a basic nutrient tucked away in some multivitamin bottle. For older men, vitamin B12 is a silent force behind everything from sensitivity and arousal to sexual response and emotional energy. Without it, your nervous system starts to lose its sharpness. And that loss shows up not just in your body, but in the most intimate moments of your life. Let's take the story of Robert, a 68-year-old retired electrician from Michigan. For years, Robert had always felt sharp mentally, physically, sexually, but over the course of a year, he noticed subtle changes. His energy dipped, his reaction time during intimacy slowed, and most concerning of all, he began to feel a kind of numbness, both physically and emotionally. He went to his doctor thinking it was just part of getting older, but after a routine test, they discovered the real culprit, a vitamin B12 deficiency. "I didn't even know I needed to be watching out for that," Robert admitted. But once he made a few simple changes in his diet and daily habits, things began to improve quickly and dramatically. So what exactly does B12 do for your sexual health? Quite a bit. Actually, it plays a direct role in keeping your nerves healthy, especially the ones that control sensation and reflexes in the pelvic area. These nerves are responsible for the subtle communication between your brain and body during arousal, and they influence everything from how you feel touch to how quickly your body reacts. When B12 levels are low, that communication slows down, becomes fuzzy, or can even shut down altogether. That's when you start to feel disconnected from your own desires, or like your body isn't responding the way it used to. But B12 doesn't stop there. It also helps your body produce red blood cells, which carry oxygen and nutrients throughout your bloodstream, including to the reproductive organs. Without healthy blood flow, you can't maintain strong, consistent erections. Your body depends on circulation to deliver what it needs, when it needs it. And B12 is a key player in making sure that delivery system stays efficient. Without it, fatigue sets in, arousal becomes harder to maintain, and sexual reflexes begin to dull. What makes this even more critical is how common B12 deficiency is among older adults. According to a study by Tufts University, up to 20% of people over 60 are deficient in vitamin B12, and many have no idea. That's because the body's ability to absorb B12 from food declines with age. The stomach produces less acid, which is necessary to extract B12 from protein. Even if you're eating enough B12-rich foods, your body may be absorbing only a fraction of what it used to. And when that silent deficiency goes unnoticed, it doesn't just affect your nerves, it affects your confidence, your vitality, and how connected you feel to your partner. So, how do you know if you might be running low? Start by listening to your body. Are you more tired than usual, even after a full night's sleep? Do your feet or hands feel tingly or numb at times? Has your interest in intimacy faded without a clear reason? Are your reactions physical and emotional slower than they used to be? If any of these sound familiar, your body may be asking, quietly but clearly, for more B12. To restore your levels naturally, start with the right foods. Some of the richest sources of vitamin B12 are also classic staples of a hearty, traditional diet: beef liver, sardines, tuna, eggs, and dairy products like cheese and yogurt. If you still enjoy these foods and tolerate them well, they can offer a powerful boost. For men who follow a vegetarian or low-meat diet, it's worth speaking to a doctor about checking your B12 levels. If you're deficient or simply not absorbing well, you may benefit from a supplement or even a B12 shot. But the goal isn't to chase high numbers on a lab report. The goal is to feel whole again, to feel like yourself again. Robert, the retired electrician, started by adding sardines twice a week and switching to whole eggs instead of egg whites. He didn't make any drastic changes, but within 3 months, his energy came back. He began feeling things again emotionally and physically. And the first time he and his wife shared an intimate moment without the cloud of frustration hanging over them, he knew this one small change had given him something big: his confidence. And that's what this is about. Not chasing youth, but reclaiming vitality. Not turning back the clock, but tuning in to what your body still wants and needs to thrive. You don't need to accept every decline as permanent. Sometimes, all it takes is paying closer attention, giving your body what it's been missing all along. So if you're still here with me, thank you. That means you care. That means you're listening to your body, just as it's been quietly asking you to do. If anything in this story resonates with you, I invite you to leave a number 2 in the comments. That way, I'll know I'm not speaking into silence. And if you found this helpful, consider sharing it with someone you care about. Because these conversations matter. And sometimes, the smallest pieces of knowledge can reignite the strongest parts of ourselves. Now that you've fueled your nerves and restored the spark, we'll move on to the third vitamin, one that helps you maintain smooth, reliable blood flow when it matters most. Because we're not done yet. In fact, we're just getting started. Vitamin E and its antioxidant effects on male sexual health. When Harold turned 70, he began noticing something he hadn't expected. It wasn't pain or illness, just a growing sense of dullness physically, emotionally, and most noticeably, intimately. He still loved his wife deeply, but intimacy had become more infrequent, more difficult, and less fulfilling. The spark was fading, and he didn't know why. His doctor told him his heart was fine, his blood pressure stable, but something still felt off. It wasn't until Harold came across a health article in a senior's wellness magazine that a simple sentence caught his eye. Vitamin E is not just for your skin, it may be the key to restoring male sexual vitality after 60. That sentence led Harold down a path he'd never considered, and it changed everything. Many people think of vitamin E as something you rub on your face or find in anti-aging creams. But inside the body, especially in aging men, it plays a far deeper and more powerful role. For those over 60, vitamin E becomes one of the body's strongest natural defenders, especially when it comes to sexual health. You see, as we age, the blood vessels that support healthy erections begin to stiffen. The lining of these vessels, called the endothelium, is extremely sensitive to oxidative stress, an invisible kind of damage caused by free radicals. These unstable molecules increase with age, poor diet, stress, pollution, and even medications. And when they aren't controlled, they quietly attack the very systems responsible for arousal and performance. Vitamin E steps in like a shield. It's one of the body's most potent, fat-soluble antioxidants, meaning it can penetrate the fatty tissues where free radicals tend to do the most damage, like in the testes, the blood vessels that feed the penis, and the hormonal structures that regulate desire. When these tissues are protected, blood flows more freely, and the chain reaction that leads to a firm, lasting erection can happen more easily and more consistently. Harold didn't know any of this at first, of course, but after adding more vitamin E-rich foods into his diet, just small things, like a handful of almonds after breakfast, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil on his salad, and half an avocado in the evening, he began to feel it, not overnight, but within a few weeks. His recovery time after intimacy improved, his confidence returned, and so did the smile on his wife's face. There's scientific proof to back up stories like Harold's. A study published in the Journal of Andrology examined men who took vitamin E alongside selenium for 12 weeks. The results were impressive, a noticeable improvement in sperm count, sperm quality, and most importantly for older men, a measurable increase in erection strength and duration. This isn't just theoretical, it's biological. When vitamin E neutralizes oxidative stress, the body begins to restore its natural rhythm. Blood vessels regain their flexibility. Testosterone can be produced more efficiently, and the nerves that control arousal become sharper. It's like giving your entire sexual system a breath of fresh air. So how can you get more of this essential nutrient without turning to pills right away? The answer lies in your kitchen. Sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, avocados, extra virgin olive oil, spinach, Swiss chard, and even butternut squash are all excellent sources of natural vitamin E. And the best part is, these foods don't just help your sexual health, they also support your heart, your brain, your skin, and your overall energy. By simply weaving these ingredients into your daily meals, you're nurturing every system in your body. It's not about going on a strict diet or making dramatic changes. It's about returning to what's real whole foods, nourishing fats, and consistent care. Now, for some men, especially those with digestive issues or dietary restrictions, it may be harder to get enough vitamin E through food alone. In those cases, a light dose supplement of natural vitamin E, typically around 200 to 400 IU per day, is generally considered safe by many health professionals. But there are two important things to remember. First, always talk to your doctor before adding any supplement, especially if you're on blood thinners, since high doses of vitamin E can increase the risk of bleeding. And second, even if you do supplement, don't let it replace your commitment to whole foods, because pills may help you reach a number. But real healing, the kind that restores your confidence and your connection, comes from habits that nourish your whole self. Harold's story isn't unique. Men across the country are silently struggling with the same issues: shame, confusion, frustration, not realizing that a few simple shifts in diet and awareness could make a world of difference. It's not about turning back the clock. It's about waking up your body, reigniting your senses, and reclaiming a part of yourself that you thought was gone. And sometimes, all it takes is a handful of seeds, a drizzle of olive oil, and the decision to give your body what it truly needs. So if you've made it this far, thank you. That tells me you care deeply about your health, your vitality, and your quality of life. Leave the number 3 in the comments if you're still here. That way, I'll know you're walking this journey with me. And if this message spoke to you, share it with another man who might be silently struggling. You never know how one conversation or one vitamin might help someone find their way back to strength, intimacy, and joy. Now that we've uncovered the 3 most essential vitamins for sexual vitality after 60, remember this: your body hasn't given up on you. It's just been waiting for attention, for nourishment, for care, and the power to change is still in your hands. Dear friend, today we've taken a meaningful step together, one that many men shy away from, but that truly matters. We've uncovered how 3 simple vitamins, D, B12, and E, can quietly and powerfully restore what time may have taken your confidence, your vitality, your connection. These nutrients don't just support your body, they remind it how to feel alive again. They help you reclaim not only physical strength, but also the quiet pride of showing up fully for yourself and for the one you love. But let's remember, nutrients are only the beginning. Movement, even light and gentle, is the key that unlocks their full potential. A daily walk, a few mindful stretches, or a few minutes of pelvic floor work can reawaken your circulation, ease your stress, and signal to your body that you still care, that you're still here, still strong, still vibrant. If you've stayed with me this far, I know you're committed. Drop a simple still here in the comments to let me know you're walking this path with me. And if you found this message valuable, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. There's more to explore because in the next video, we'll go even deeper with easy, practical exercises designed to support stronger erections and naturally boost testosterone. Right from home, you're not alone on this journey. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and I'll see you soon.